What's going on, guys? What's happening? Benji here, your favorite nerf herder. I'm going to do a video real quick, and this is singing the praise to a good friend of mine, Jeremy over at Solo Sabers LLC. I'm sure if you've been in the lightsaber community for the past year, you've heard the name, seen the work. Guy is a machine. He's just constantly pumping out builds. It's always been fun to watch. Good dude. And all right, so I like to mess with the people that I get along with very well. If you haven't noticed or not, I like to, it's out of love, man. I mess with the ones I love the most. So I have been making fun of Jeremy and his mom for a while now. When he joined a group that I was a part of with him for a while, was lots of mom jokes, and Jeremy, I always had to get him. It was just felt right every time, and he got me quite a bit. And if you've seen some of the videos that I've done, I've definitely made fun of his mother in my own personal videos. So if you haven't seen any of Solo Sabers LLC, his YouTube channel, go over there, subscribe. He's constantly pumping out work, and what I wanted to praise today is that he does custom chassis designs, like a lot of installers in the hobby. So the one thing I don't do right now is custom chassis. I have to outsource a lot of the stuff that I make for chassis builds. Chassis is what holds all your components in your lightsaber. It's a very specifically designed thing to fit your speaker, your soundboard, your battery, all the things. This is the skeleton of your lightsaber. It's very important. Some builds, people will have lots of options for lightsabers when it comes to mass-produced ones. You know, if a Saberforge has a certain size inner diameter of their lightsaber hilt, Graflex is the same size as, you know, most replica Graflexes and whatnot. But when you have a scratch type build, when it's a little out of the ordinary, you have to have something done custom. And so he does a lot of that. And I was like, hey man, do you mind? I've got a couple Corran horn style speeder bike hilts that I'm making, and they're very unorthodox because these parts are mixed matched. You know, this is not the standard width. You would think that this would be fine, but there is a diameter change right here where the pommel starts. So like I needed it all to fit right there, and nothing would really work. So I had him design me up one for this guy, for this dude, which I may have him install up for me, which would be really fun, because I've never really had anyone else install my hilt other than Joe at Darkside Custom Sabers. This dude is especially small. I mean, it's just right there in the speaker. And these were some of the hilts that I asked him to design for me. So you dirty. Oh man, I deserve it. I deserve it, you guys. Okay, so we'll get there. This is what I'm talking about. This is a really cool system. So since these are really short, we've got the speaker's gonna go there. Pogo pin system's gonna go right there and right there. So the speaker will be able to touch in. And then this will be a speaker pod, kind of like my Force Unleashed 2, where it will, once you thread it in, it'll engage the pins, and then your speaker will be active. I still got to make a pommel for this thing, for all three of them really, but I was kind of nervous because he was like, "Oh, I got you, buddy. I'll hook you up," and I was like, "He's gonna do something real special for you." And I was like, oh no, I deserve it, I know. So one of the things that he does, which I love, I think it's a cool aspect, he's done it for me on a chassis or two, is he put Nerf Herder Customs on the chassis. So the CFX will sit there, the battery will slide here, the pin system will go there for the speaker. And then also this is cool because I will have accent blinking LEDs on this Corran horn. So there's a little channel for that. And I was just like, man, perfect. Made this build happen. It's possible now. But for those of you, so while I was looking this over once I got it, I was like, awesome, Nerf Herder Customs. And I expected Solo Sabers in Arabish on this side. And I looked at that, and immediately I was like, that's not Solo, that's more than Solo Sabers. Your mom says hi. It's a part of my saber now. It's a part of my lightsaber now. Your mom says hi. So in a lot of my videos, I've said, hey, say hi to your mother for me, Jeremy. Like, I slide it in there every now and then. If I have a reason to talk about Jeremy in one of my videos, I'll throw up on, a banner, and I'll say hi to your mother for me. And so he got the last laugh because now this is very permanent. And so this lightsaber in Arabic will say, "Your mom says hi." So that was great, and I really do enjoy this Corran horn. Hopefully I'll have it installed sometime soon. So the one that really I was like, oh my goodness, because I checked them, like this one is gonna be really fun. I made it pretty similar to the one I just finished up. This one was a sled chassis, so I didn't need any specific designed diameter or anything. But this one, you know, I've got these switches are gonna go here. This inner diameter is very small, very short, because it's not a, you know, when I say inner diameter, I mean the diameter of the speaker or of the inside of the lightsaber. So I personally never want anything lower than a 28 millimeter speaker. I think 24 millimeter speakers and to 20, they're just not for me. I think they sound weaker. Something's missing. It's not, no matter how good a lot of it is, and there's some good sound resonance hilts, but I just, personal preference, man, I don't like it. I want a 28 millimeter speaker. So this one has a very short, or I mean a small inner diameter, because this piece is like inside of something. These are all Saber Forge scratch and dent parts. So he designed this one, Nerf Herder Customs Solo Sabers, which is gonna be really cool. And I think I'm gonna have Jeremy actually install this one, like I said, because I would love to have one. I never have anyone install my sabers, because once I lost, some to Jordan Mall and another guy, Matt Brown. I got scammed out, lost like 3, and I was like, nope. And I was like, all right, now I'm gonna install. I need to learn anyway. So I haven't had anybody install a lightsaber for me other than Shamim, which was a long time ago, and then Joe. So aside from that, I was like, man, I don't have any lightsabers. Now only the one that Joe did for me is the only one that I have in my collection that isn't installed by me. So I'm thinking about taking Jeremy up on this offer to do it, just because I think it'd be cool. I'm kind of more of a personal collector. I like having things like, the hilt that TJ made for me, I'll never get rid of. It's just more personal stuff. When a friend does a service for me and it stays in my collection, it bumps up the factor. I'm just more of a sentimental type person. Like, I'm like, okay, this was done by a friend. Like, it just means more to me than a lightsaber hilt. It's art. I like collecting art. So there's a channel that's going to catch right under here the switches, and then we're going to get a Smuggler's Outpost pin system. So this core will be completely removable. The 28 millimeter speaker will be in there. We're going to have them do a Profi board, and then the pin system will go in there. It'll slide in and push, and then I'll have a pommel, and then set screwed, and it'll be done. And then your switches will be there, and it's got I'll probably get them to do CC Sabers Pixel or something like that. So I was looking at those two, and I was like, okay, not too bad. Like, your mom says hi, hilarious. And then I was like, all right, well, okay, look, full disclosure, if you're a kid right now, or if this is adult, this is getting to adult territory, all right? So fair warning to anybody, don't get mad, and I'm sorry if I offend somebody with this, but there was a male genitalia blade plug that got passed around. It got sent to me when somebody sent me a build that I was commissioned to install for. They sent that to me, and it was kind of like you've been got, and I was like, oh, so I saved it. And then I sent it to a friend, and then he had it, and he sent it to another friend, and then it came back to me. And then I was like, I've already got this thing. So when I had to send to Jeremy, I sent him with a note that said, to Jeremy, and then he opened it, and it says, say hi to your mother for me, and I had the penis blade plug taped over it, and it says like, you're number 1 on the blade plug. So it's pretty ridiculous. I don't know where it's at now. I don't know who he's got with it. I don't know if he's gonna get anyone with it or if he's just gonna keep it. But so I sent him that, and I've been dogging on him about his mom, and this was the last hilt, and I was like, hasn't been too bad. So like, we're in the clear, right? So Nerf Herder Customs, and I was like, that's beautiful. Solo Sabers in Arabesh. Speaker pod is going to be in this guy, right? Because it's going to be a removable body. The speaker pod will hit the pins. When it tightens down, it'll lock into the pins. Not suitable for work, you guys. Jeremy's got jokes. You got you thinking real funny there, Jeremy. Jeremy's got jokes. I mean, look at the hair on this thing. I laughed about that for a long time, man. I was like, hey, come here, look at this. And then I'm like, do you see anything on this? Like, I showed my father. I was like, hey, man, what do you think about that? He was just like, oh my God. How ridiculous is that? Ridiculous. Oh my goodness. But Jeremy is sending me another chassis for it, but that was a really good prank. I was like, all right, you got me, dude. You got me. So that is something that a lot of people may not understand. Chassis design is important. 3D printed chassis. Rob from Solo Sabers does them as well. I used to get a lot from him. Still will. You know, it's just whatever I got, whoever's available. There's a lot of Etsy stores that sell specific chassis for specific sabers. And like I said, unless it's an unconditional build, I put these parts together and I made this my own. This isn't something that you buy offline. I needed that custom designed and then 3D printed. But for the most part, the Saber Forge Gladius, or you have a Pox store, whatever, you can go on like Etsy, or you can even check with these guys. This is mainly what I'm trying to say is, I know Carlos from Kessel Customs, he's just getting into that game with 3D printing and designing chassis, and I'd like to do that this year as well. It's just a very important aspect. So one thing to keep in mind when you are building scrap sabers, chassis designs, what you need, building with an installer's mind is always the best. Where your switch is going to go, switch placement, room inside the chassis. I mean, just because it looks cool doesn't mean it may not be possible for the most part. You see some of these sabers on like Pinterest, and I've looked at some and been like, that would be a nightmare to install. Just a total nightmare to install, and it may not even be possible. Some of them are too thin, because you got to keep in mind that you need to fit, an 18650 battery in this thing, as well as a board and a speaker and all this stuff, and you have to have enough room for it to fit inside that. So you really got to plan out, so it's one of the things. I know a lot of people don't really know. There's plenty of ways to do chassis. There's old school ways to do them, but this is just something that I wanted to reach out and say, hey, Jeremy does great work. He probably won't give you the same treatment he gave me. I mean, obviously, but yeah, man, I really appreciate you, Jeremy. I've got to finish this guy up. I got to do some weathering, get the pommel ready, and I will be hitting you up. Hopefully, seeing this on your channel will be a total pleasure for me. I would really enjoy seeing that come together. All right, guys, that'll do it for this one. I got plenty of other stuff coming. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to my buddy. If you guys haven't already, go over to Solo Sabers LLC, Solo Sabers on YouTube. Subscribe, follow, and you're gonna see a lot of cool hilts being built. You can see a lot of fun stuff, and go and support, man. He's one of the hardest working dudes in the community. All right, guys, thank you very much. And Jeremy, say hi to your mother for me.
Who's scruffy looking?